Hello everyone, Watch This Review here with my news and updates, the state of play as it were, for the month of August, and assembled before you are just a few of the items that I reviewed during the month of July. For a full listing, you really do need to go back and check my channel because I upload a lot of stuff. You probably missed at least something. Maybe. I don't know. But a quick breakthrough of how this is going to go down. I'm going to be doing a few more thoughts on San Diego Comic-Con 2011, after which I'll probably discuss the remaining hauls for the month, and then a resolution, then finally, what am I going to do after that? Alright, I was going to do the top figure of the month, and then just some other talk. And hopefully somewhere along the line I'll be a little bit more articulate, but I don't think I'm going to go back and edit that first segment. And in truth, I did actually shoot a lot of the stuff that comes after this yesterday, and I'm just doing the opening right now. But before I get into any of that, I have two questions for the viewers who might know something a little bit more than me on this. But supposedly I heard that DC Universe Classics isn't going to be doing anything after Wave 20 for like in-store waves, like collecting connects and stuff. Does anybody know what's going on with that? Because I don't recall really hearing too much about that in the panel or anything at all, although they did discuss the online portion quite a bit. Now, somebody mentioned that they're sort of relaunching the line or something. Well, not like relaunching, but they're like sort of rebranding it, and that might be it, but I don't know, it'd be kind of weird if they were going to just do the stuff, but during the panel they mentioned they will still have stuff at retail, so I'm just really confused about the entire situation. Although it'd really suck if it all just went straight online, because, I mean, the figures are expensive enough as is, but their current online plan will be like one figure a month for $15. They aren't doing collecting connects for it because they're planning on doing their oversized figures separately. So, I mean, you're kind of getting a bit less value than we currently were, but in addition to that, you're also going to be paying shipping and handling on every figure, so what effectively was a $15 price point goes up to like, it's like $7 shipping and handling maybe, to like $22 a figure, so it's kind of nuts. In general, though, I wish that they would kind of just like sell online waves all at once, because then you'd cut down on the shipping and handling. That'd be kind of cool. The other really big thing that nobody's really talked about for Comic-Con is what's going on with the Spider-Man 4-inch line. Now, I know it's not that popular of a line because it's like mostly just Spider-Man redecos, but they also supplement the Marvel Universe line in releasing a lot of the Spider-Man rogues, and they do completely new sculpts for it, which is really nice. But I never hear about this news ahead of time. Like, Carnage went to stores before I'd even heard of him going to stores. Supposedly there's a Scorpion now floating around, and then I was looking at the panel, or like the diorama or something, it looked like they had like a lizard figure too, so I don't know. Does anybody know where I can even get information on the 4-inch Spider-Man line? Am I missing something? I don't know. Now, I really don't have a ton more to say about Comic-Con, but I did go back and I watched a few of the panels, which I hadn't seen back when I made the other video. And by the way, I'm just going to start moving stuff out of the way because it'll make more sense later when you see me bringing stuff out onto an empty screen. But in particular, I'd say that the top 10, I don't even want to do a top 10 for like the top 10 things I'm most excited for, because really it boils down to two things that I'm really excited for, then a bunch of other stuff that I'm pretty excited for, but nowhere near as much. And those top two, which you probably already guessed by now, are first the Masters of the Universe Classic Sorceress, which I'd been waiting for since basically the line started and I learned of it. You know, it's a really awesome looking figure. And also the Marvel Universe Jubilee, who I thought was also pretty long overdue. Unfortunately, though, since all they did was show the unpainted prototype, it's really hard to know how it will turn out, although it looks kind of promising. Other things I'm really excited for are the Marvel Universe Hulk, which is a huge improvement over the previous ones they've done for the line, and looks to have the same articulation as the World War Hulk. Okay. But also the Craven for the Marvel Universe line. The Fing Fang Foom, also pretty exciting news. Not 100% sure if we'll even have room for it if Hasbro decides to bring their Comic-Con version Sentinel to stores. I end up buying a ton of those. But I mean, the Fing Fang Foom, I currently don't have one from Marvel Legends, so that definitely would be a consideration. Speaking of Marvel Legends, the Marvel Legends Wave 2 looks like a pretty solid selection. I'm especially looking forward to picking up the Bucky Cap and the Madame Mask. Also Arnim Zola. I mean, I wasn't really familiar with the character at all before the Mighty Avengers cartoon, but this just looks like an incredible looking figure, and that's enough for me. Also, I just love the fact that they're planning on doing sort of a scaled release where they'll have a certain set of figures out first, and then a second set that kind of replaces them, so you have multiple options if you want to just pick up one figure to complete your collect and connect, or also the fact that they're going to be doing kind of like a variant build-a-figures. I mean, I'm so used to calling them collect and connects because DC Universe Classics was the one in between that it was the only one doing the collectible figures, so crazy as it sounds, that's kind of replaced it in my mind. I've got to gradually work my way back into the whole calling them build-a-figures again. In terms of clubs, although a few of them look neat, I probably don't think I'll subscribe to any. The Voltron one really kind of interested me, but it's $290 plus shipping and handling. I mean, really, I don't know, it just strikes me as being a bit of money. Again, probably would be a bit different if they just sort of grouped these things together and sort of sold them, like if all the Voltron lines were sold at once as part of a package. I might pick it up, but I don't know, even then, especially because I'm hoping to pick up the really cool Blazing Sword Voltron from the Maddie sale on Monday, and after that I will have a Voltron, so I guess it kind of lessens the appeal of getting another one. Other than that, I can't wait to see what they bring out for the oversized figures for the DC Universe Classics line, or the DC Infinite Earths line, or Club Infinite Earths. I don't even know what to call it anymore. It's sad. It's really sad. But, I mean, for a while I kind of did sort of like the Collect and Connects quite a bit more than some of the figures for some waves, like the Darkseid wave, where Darkseid was the huge draw of that. But in general, I've always liked the appeal of having a Collect and Connect or build a figure for these things, because it forces you to kind of pick up figures that you might not normally do and you might pass on, and you do occasionally miss out on gems because you're just looking at them and you're thinking, I don't care that much about this figure, but after you get out of box and stuff and you're just messing around with it, you realize that's actually pretty cool. Then again, other ones are still clunkers after you get them out of the box, and you just put them up on the shelf and kind of forget about them. And I guess those are basically my thoughts on San Diego Comic-Con 2011 that wasn't previously covered. I probably had a bit more, but I didn't really feel like organizing my thoughts all that much, because there are a few things I'm really excited for, and then everything else I'm not as excited for. The panels I didn't watch, I still actually have to go back and see, are the Transformers one, because I'm actually curious what they're going to be doing with some of the other stuff. I heard that they aren't going to be keeping up with stuff like Generations and Classics. They're just going to kind of abandon that, but I haven't seen the panel, so I'm not sure if anything's kind of changed. That was just knowledge that I had from way back when. But yeah, jumping on. So, July was a stupidly busy month in terms of purchases, and the Target clearance certainly didn't help anything. When I went back, I ended up finding the Blue Ranger for the Power Rangers Samurai. Hadn't opened the first one at this point, but figured for $2 can't really go wrong. As well as the Power Core Combiners Bomb Shock. Now they had, I think it was 2 of the other Power Combiners there, but didn't really so much interest me as much as this one. Only $3.75. And then I ended up picking up one of these light vehicles because it looked kind of neat. Still have yet to actually see that movie. It's on the to-do list. It's on the to-do list, but $2.48. Also picked up one other item, which I'm not going to announce before I review it because it has less impact that way, and it's actually a kind of neat item. And again, this total set of purchases came out to be around $10. I mean, the actual final receipt wasn't, because I found a ultimate edition of Stargate for $5, and really loved the movie. Not so much the TV show, but my brother was actually a huge fan. I never really saw the appeal, though I did end up watching most of the series. Don't even ask. I'm sure it's better than I remember it anyway. But, yeah, so definitely not breaking the bank on these big Target hauls or whatever, because you get a lot of stuff for a relatively small amount of money at this point. Not so much in the other cases where what was the total bill? I think it was like $85 or something for the Toys R Us one, but I did get a lot of stuff there. It was, what was it, 3 Movie Masters, the 2 DC Universe Classics, the Mash and Low, and then the Thundercracker and Shoot Sergeant Cup from Transformers Generations. Then there was the Amazon purchase, which among other things included the Sinestro Corps Scarecrow, because I literally could not wait for him to hit retail, as well as a Kotobukiya Bishojo Black Cat. I don't usually review static objects, the non-moving statues, but in her case we'll make an exception. The Hasbro Comic-Con exclusive Sentinel variant, which I recently ordered, still hasn't arrived, of course. And then also quite a few things at retail. Which brings me to my resolution for the month of August, and that is to buy nothing. Now, basically, it's going to break down like this. If I've already pre-ordered it, yes, I'm going to pay for it. If it's a time-sensitive item that I've already sort of committed to buying, well, at least in my head at any rate. I don't really have a formal commitment, like the Blazing Sword Voltron. Yes, we'll be buying that as well. And then, of course, if it's something I've been looking for a while, then yes, that will also be an exception. Now, if you feel that with all these exceptions I'm really not making a commitment in the first place, then all I can say is you really don't know me that well. You don't know me at all. I'm a huge impulse buyer. And just remember that with all these clearances and all these aisle redesigns and stuff, it means that they're making way for a lot of new things to hit shelves, so I will certainly have some temptations, but I'll try to resist for at least the month of August. And speaking of that, my Target actually had the Young Justice 6-inch Artemis in case you're wondering why it's not up here displayed with the others. The one that they had in store kind of had some paint defects, but I was actually kind of surprised to find out that the line is retailing for $20 at normal retailers. I kind of was expecting that it would sort of go the $15 route that DC Universe Classics and Green Lantern Classics had been doing, just because it didn't really have any Build-A-Figure stuff or anything, or collecting tech pieces. But part of that probably was just because I hadn't seen the packaging. It's actually a rather large box. I don't think it's a really great value for what you get. I mean, it's one really big display piece in the figure itself, which, I mean, I guess it's cool to have, like, the display pieces and stuff, but for the additional price, I rather would just have the figure myself. I'm not sure how everybody else feels on this matter. I haven't seen the 4-inch ones yet, although I don't really care about those that much. One last thing before I move on, and it's just a quick clarification. I'm still going to be going out, I'm still going to be going to shops and stuff, I'll still be checking eBay and everything, but I'm just trying not to buy anything, because, let's face it, what's temperance without temptation? But yeah, moving on, top figure for the month of July, the stuff that I've unboxed at any rate, definitely has to go to the Generations Thundercracker. Originally passed in the sky in stores to my, great stupidity. is, it's a really cool figure, and it's impressed me in both terms of transformation sequence, as well as both the robot mode and the vehicle mode. Just a really nice figure all around, and supposedly it's an older mold, but it's a mold that really has held up pretty well. Another figure that really impressed me, somewhat surprisingly, is the Movie Masters Rotlop fan. Now, I still have some really mixed feelings of the Movie Masters line in general, particularly due to the use of really cheap paint apps, but it's hard not to appreciate the sort of unique sculpt in this guy and the cool poses that you can get him into. I only wish that you could kind of have a flight stand or something so he could be hovering in his little seated pose. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and upload this video, after which I'll immediately remember a dozen other things that I meant to include. Such as, for instance, the fact that the Transformers toys are finally out of Burger King, and I never got my Optimus Prime. It's really depressing. Actually, quite a few of the characters that I wanted to pick up never seem to get in. As for what you can expect in August, I honestly don't know. I've got a ton of stuff I could possibly review, and a ton of stuff that I meant to review last month, like the Shockwave, which I will be getting around to. And also a review for Thundercracker 2. So yeah, until next time.